Hello there, folks. Monkey Kook here, aka your Lonely Achievement God, continuing to bring you the achievement content you crave. We're covering Zero Escape, the Nonary games, which came out into Game Pass, I think like 8 months ago now. It is a collection of two of the Zero Escape games from the trilogy 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, and Virtue's Last Reward. Those came out in 2009, 2009 and 2012 for the DS, the 3DS, and the Vita at the time. I think it's been on a couple of other consoles now. But for those of you that follow me, you know I do Xbox achievement content. And since these are in Game Pass and I really enjoy them, I decided to do my achievement treatment on them, and we're going to get you through the 1000G as quickly as possible. Couple things about this collection. It is developed and published by Spike Chunsoft, initially released on the 21st of March of 2022. It's a hybrid point-and-click visual novel. You have a lot of text to read and then escape rooms along the way. And that's basically all it is for both of the games. And if you try to figure out everything on your own and read everything on your own, it's going to depend on your reading speed and your ability to solve puzzles. You're looking at 50 plus hours, anywhere from 50 to 70 more than likely. The good news is, if you skip absolutely everything, you can get it all done in less than 8 hours. And that's what I'm here for. We're going to show off the optimal path to get through everything in less than 8 hours. Now, for those of you that are already yelling at me, why are you ruining this? I love these games. I do. They're two of my favorite games of all time, up there with Danganronpa, which I've already made an achievement walkthrough for as well. And I want people to experience the game, sure, but I'm also here to let people know how to get their achievements as quickly as possible. And if you see this game and see 40 to 50 hours, you might not jump in. If I can convince people that you can get it done in 8 hours, you can sit through the first, novel section and read it, see if the story is for you. If it isn't, you can still get the achievements relatively quickly. And that's what I want to do. I want to expose this game to as many people as possible. These games, excuse me. For those of you that are a little concerned about starting this, because there is a third game in the series, the good news is Zero Time Dilemma is released on the Xbox. The bad news is it isn't available in Game Pass, so you do have to buy it. I think it's $20, but I don't remember off the top of my head. And I will be making a guide for that as well eventually. Right now, we're just focusing on this. What else we got? 38 achievements, 1000G. 8 of them are from 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, which I will hereafter reference as 999. 29 of them are for Virtue's Last Reward, and the final achievement is the dreaded get all the other achievements achievement. But I will say, in the couple of playthroughs I've had, I have not had any issue with that unlocking. We're going to go through and get you all of the achievements. Mostly they're just for playing the game. There are a few things you have to be cautious of. Specifically, with the true ending in 999, there are a couple of dialogue choices you have to make. And there are specific things you need to remember in VLR. The good news is, the specific things you need to remember are things that I have written down, and they do not change from playthrough to playthrough. So I'll be able to help you out with all of those things as long as you follow along with me. Again, probably looking between 7 or 8 hours overall. It took me 6 hours and 20 minutes, and that's, blitzing through everything, knowing exactly what I needed to do. So for those of you that are going to become acclimated with the controls and everything like that as we go through, I'm trying to give like a 30-minute to an hour buffer for learning and getting good at knowing exactly what you need. If you're following along with my videos, I'll try to go a little bit slower, obviously, so that you can keep up with me. But if you are interested, I've also made a text version of the guide, and it's linked to in the description. on my website. However, I would appreciate the likes, shares, and maybe running the video in the background if you use the text, because the ultimate goal is to be able to be partnered and be able to make money so I can keep making you content like this. So I would appreciate anything like that if you can help out, or if you are so inclined to donate, I even have donation links available as well. So that would be amazing. But don't feel obligated to do that. I am here to help you get your 1000G. More than likely, this will be leaving Game Pass within a year of hopping on, so we have probably till the end of March. So if you have any questions about anything, you can reach out to me. Twitter is the best for it. Or you can comment on the videos here, and I'll see them as quickly as I can. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and start our playthrough. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. This is my first attempt at recording walkthroughs since we've brought our puppy and cat home, and they are wandering around at the same time. So if you kind of notice some skips where my voice sounds different, may have had to pause and run out of the room to separate some pets, etc., etc. So sorry about that, but that's going to be a constant now in my videos. Hopefully it's not too much of a disruptor for enjoying them. So let's go ahead. We're going to press B here. We get to the main menu, and you can use the D-pad to choose between the two games. We're going to start with 9 hours, 9 persons, and 9 doors. And that brings us to a main menu here. Okay, so for those of you that are looking to read everything, this next step isn't all that important. We're going to go into options here. And as you can see, you can choose your language. If you prefer Japanese voice actors, feel free to swap that. If you are looking to read everything and don't want to skip, keep this off. If you want to skip everything like we're going to do in the video, you're going to turn skip text to on. Skipping text to on gives you an all skip option for text. And it's very difficult to go through the game and read everything with this on, because of the way that the game makes you cycle through the text options. You can't just pick without going to the menu. It's a little bit more, or a little less convenient. So if you are trying to read everything, I recommend just keeping it off. It's not worth messing around with it. If you are attempting to skip, though, turn the skip text to on. Cursor speed is kind of a matter of preference. I prefer it in the middle. There are a couple of items that are small enough that a higher cursor speed can make it annoying to try to get them. So I stick to normal, but if you find it's too slow, you can come back in and change it. You'll just have to save and exit and come back to the main menu to get to options, as I don't think you can access this during the game, which is a little weird, but once you have your options set the way you want them, go ahead and press B and hit start. You get brought to the save menu of the game. You can see the game is creating a save data file. You can switch to different slots with the D-pad, but for this game it's not really worth it. These games are designed with a timeline, so a flowchart, so you can jump back and forth between areas. So there's no real point in having multiple save files. If you really want to, you can, in case a game crashes or whatever, but generally the game runs flawlessly. I haven't had a single crash in the 100 hours I've put into it. And so it's not really worth worrying about, losing your data. You can't make multiple saves to make achievements easier or anything like that. So generally just save whenever we get to an ending and you'll be fine. However, that is a little bit different if you are reading everything, because you're going to be spending significantly more time on things. So feel free to make more saves if you're reading everything, because you'll be spending a lot more time than we are skipping everything in the video here. So go ahead and press the A button to get that press A button screen up. Hit it again. It'll ask you if you want to save, so hit yes. Whenever it saves, it takes a couple of seconds, but it will automatically advance. We're going to get a cutscene to start off the game here. I don't think it can be skipped, so I think we're going to have to just sit here and watch it. Most of the cutscenes can be skipped, and all of the dialogue can be skipped if you have turned on the skip option. If you haven't turned on the skip option, all you can do is kind of move, either pressing A repeatedly to make everything cycle through quickly, or you can turn on auto and then it runs on its own speed. Depending, maybe you want to eat while you read the story, you can turn it to auto, but generally it's better to just mash A button to get through some of the other text. As we're going through, it's best when dialogue shows up to choose exactly what I do. There are a lot of dialogue options that don't matter, but some of them can change, like your location in the escape room, so it's best to do exactly as I do, step by step. I've designed this to be a literal step-by-step walkthrough, so follow along with me exactly and you'll be fine. As you can see, we got brought to the first screen of the game. This is kind of the overlay you're going to see for a lot of the game. However, the overlay will change later on. There's a novel screen. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, it says we're at the novel screen, and there's I think it's ADV, which I assume stands for adventure screen, and that gives you more text boxes from individual characters and stuff like that. I don't bother switching it. There might be one that's faster than the other, but the difference is minimal, so it's not really worth worrying about. I just let the game default to whatever it intends to be. That's up to you if you are reading. When you're skipping, it's not really worth worrying about. So upper left-hand corner gives us our menu. We have a file screen that's grayed out we can't get to. We're going to eventually get a calculator. We can access the flow chart. As you can see, there's all sorts of things. We're not going to go into it quite yet. You can save at any point that the game allows you to, obviously when the save is lit up. There's a map screen, but we don't have a map yet. And then this stop here is the text. This is the menu I told you about for skipping text. Now, it's best to do your text skips from this, especially if you are trying to read things. Because if I were to click all skip right now and go back, all of the text would go by too quickly for me to read. And if you're trying to read things, you don't want to have that happen. You'll miss entire portions of the text because things skip very quickly. So you can go into the menu here, and then when you press B, it'll start doing whatever you've selected. So as you can see, we're not skipping anything yet. If I were to press B, we would start skipping. So for those of you that are trying to read everything and you have selected the all skip option, this is how you're going to want to handle skipping and unskipping text. For those of you that are reading everything and haven't selected the skip, all you're going to have is the stop and auto here. So however you want to skip is fine. And we'll cover some of the other menu options when they pop up, but for the most part, you don't really need them. The files are only important if you're trying to solve everything on your own. The calculator, again, is only important if you're trying to solve things on your own. And the map, I didn't even find all that useful when I was trying to solve things on my own. But that's entirely up to you. We're going to back out here. You can hit up on the D-pad to get to your log, which will show you recent text. So if you do happen to skip something, you may be able to use the log to read it. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to see a stop. That correlates with how we're skipping through text. So if I hit X, we hit auto. If I hit X again, we skip everything, as you saw there. That's why I recommend doing it through the menu, because if you try to cycle through with the X button, you're going to get to the text all skip for a brief second, and we missed a bunch of text. Now, we can go back into our log and read what we missed, but it's not really worth worrying about that. And again, I do apologize for the slowness of the beginning here, but I'm trying to cover the basics now so that once we get into the actual game, we can just go through rather quickly. We're just going to start skipping through text here. You can use the A button to skip ahead if you want. As I said, you can hit the X button to auto. But for us in the walkthrough, we're going to hit all skip and start skipping things very quickly. Eventually, things will calm down until they stop calming down. And as we're sitting there, one of the portholes breaks and water starts gushing in. Don't worry, you don't have a time limit here, but the game sets up that you do, so I just want to warn you. And we're going to be getting through this relatively quickly. Anyways, we're going to start our first escape portion here. Every escape room starts with an overhead map. If you want to view it, feel free. Otherwise, not really worth worrying about. There are some rooms where if you're solving things on your own, this is important. This is not one of those rooms. So we're going to press B to back out of that. And as you can see, we're staring at the porthole with water coming in at an alarming rate. Like, even if we were trying to do this in real life, if water's coming in that quickly, I think we're going to die. But you're going to get a lot of tutorial text along in this first escape room. I'm not going to be dictating skipping the text. If you're following along with my text walkthrough, I don't notate any of the tutorial text or text dialogues that pop up during an escape room. I just assume you know how to press the A button to skip through. Just an FYI. And that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to read off any of the tutorials or the text that pops up during escape rooms. I'm going to assume you know how to press the A button. And then once you've skipped through all that text, we'll return to our next action, whatever it may be. So as you can see, we are facing the porthole. We're going to hit the right bumper. That'll zoom us over to this screen. RB and LB move us across screens. If you move the left analog, you have a cursor, and you can press A and interact with whatever the cursor has highlighted, and that's the basics of it. So go ahead and hit the right bumper, interact with the teapot over here once, interact with it again, and a third time to open it up. We're going to see a small key inside, so hit A on it. You get a bunch of tutorials, and we'll go into our inventory. This happens every time we get an item. For the most part, not a whole lot you're going to be doing in your inventory, but if you notice at the top of the screen, you see a grayed out combine. You will need to combine some items with other items later on. To do that, you press Y while you're hovering over an item in your inventory, and then select the other item and press Y on it to combine them. I will detail that whenever we need to do that. For now, as you can see, we got the small key blue. Go ahead and press B to back out of your inventory. You'll get another tutorial, and we're going to cover this one too. As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner now, there's a little box that shows the item we just got. This shows which item you have equipped, so we're going to need to equip the blue key to open a lock, and that's how we know we have the blue key equipped. You can press up on the D-pad, and that'll cycle through whatever items you currently have, and for a brief second or two, the name of the item will pop up next to the window there, so you know exactly which one you're looking at. 99% of the items are pretty straightforward, but there are a couple that are similar, so it can pay to pay attention to the words that pop up next to the item. Once you get control again, we're going to press B twice more to back out all the way, so we get this screen here. And then RB again, so we switch perspectives. We're going to interact with this mirror closet back here. To zoom in on it, interact with it once and interact with it again. You can interact anywhere. You don't need to interact with the mirror itself, I don't think. You might need to grab the key. Either way, grab the key. You'll go into your inventory. You'll get the small key red. We're going to press B to exit our inventory, and we're going to get some dialogue. We do have to automatically select skip when we enter dialogue in an escape room. In my text walkthrough, dialogue that can be skipped is indicated by dialogue happens. If you're just following along with my video, just listen to my silky smooth voice tell you when you should be skipping. But we can go ahead and press X until all skip pops up, or you can read it however you are going through the game. and we get a little backstory. Once we get control again here, press B to back away from the mirror, hit the left bumper, and we're going to hit up on the D-pad until small key blue is selected. Interact with the blue suitcase twice to zoom in on the keypad. And then with the key selected, as you can see, we have the blue key selected. Interact with the key hole to enter the key, and that's going to start our first puzzle. For 99% of the puzzles, you're going to get this text explanation on how to do it. I think for all of them, honestly. Most of the time, they're pretty straightforward, though. We're going to move the cursor over, and we need to put 0263 in. So go ahead and hit A on the number you need to change, and it'll advance it by one number. So 0263, and hit the blue key, and that solves it. Interact with the suitcase to open it, and then interact with the red file. Not with the briefcase. Interact with the file. And after a little bit of dialogue, teaching you about the digital route, which again you don't really need to know anything about if you're following along with me. If you are doing everything on your own, here's a very quick explanation of what the digital route is. You add up the numbers, you add the ones place and the tens place together, and that is the digital route. So as you can see, 6 plus 7 plus 8 is 21. Add the 2 and the 1 together to get 3. 3 is the digital root of 6, 7, and 8. So if you are trying to solve everything on your own, you're going to have to do that math a lot. It's best to get used to it now. But for those of us that are just skipping and following along with me, it doesn't really matter. We'll get a stack of our blue key cards, and we're going to press B to back out. As you can see, it's telling us we can now get our calculator. So you could go in and use it if you need to. Again, if you're following along with me, you won't need to. Same thing with the files. You can now go in if you need to. We never need to go into this if you're following along with me, but if you're solving everything on your own, you may need to. Back at the open suitcase here, go ahead and press B once to back out to this screen. We're going to interact with the folding door behind the teapot once to zoom in, and again to open it up. Interact with the red suitcase twice. Press up on the D-pad to equip the small key red and interact with the keyhole. Same thing as before, hover over the number you want to change, press A on it to change it by 1. We need to put 7485 in. So 1, 2, all the way up to 7, that to 4, that to 8, and that to 5. Once the numbers are correct, hit the key to solve the puzzle. Interact with the suitcase to open it, and then we're going to interact with the red key cards. Press B once to exit your inventory, and 2 more times to zoom all the way out. RB again to face the number 5 door, and we're going to interact with this device on the right twice. Make sure the red key cards are selected, so they are in the bottom left there. Otherwise, use the D-pad to select them, and interact with the device. Now press up on the D-pad to get the blue cards and interact with the device again. This will start another puzzle. This is very simple. You're just going to be moving the cursor over cards to select them. Again, you need to get a digital root of 5. In order for that, we need to put the 1, 6, and 7 cards in. So go ahead and hit the 1, the 6, and the 7, and then interact with the device to get the digital root of 5. That unlocks the door. So press B once to zoom out and interact with the door to exit. And immediately text will start, and we can return to skipping. And there's going to be a lot of dialogue here. Again, if you are new to the series, I recommend reading this part. And it's going to take probably a half an hour to read everything here, but this will tell you if you're going to be interested in what this series is about. If by the next dialogue choice you haven't had a touch of interest in what's going on, then skipping is probably the best for you. Excuse me, I'm going to drink a little bit of water. It's been a little while since I recorded. As you saw there, our novel screen changed automatically uh, into the novel instead of the adventure portion, and then it goes back to adventure. So I don't really bother switching back and forth, even if one of them is slightly faster. Figuring that out, I think, would be a waste of time. So it skips rather quickly both ways. But we're going to be sitting here for a little bit. This is, as I said, this is the major story exposition where you learn what is actually going on. Now, other than the, end game where you figure out exactly what's going on, this is the basis for the entire game and series, really. So I recommend, reading this part. And then you can decide, if it's not worth your time, feel free to skip everything if you really want to. I'm not here to police how you get your gamer score, but uh, I did really enjoy this series, so obviously I want other people to enjoy it as much as I did. But, or you can just skip everything. It's why I'm offering this video and the playlist for the entire game. The text skips rather slowly in this. Um, Even though the second game is significantly bigger, it actually takes almost the same amount of time to go through the two games because the text in VLR skips way faster. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned this, but I'm not spoiling anything with this. I'm not going to tell you, oh, this is what happens next. Like, if you want to read through and do everything, feel free. I'm not going to be telling you what happens or what doesn't in each section. My walkthroughs are designed for those of you that just want to experience everything or just want to get the achievements. Either way, you can follow along without fear of being spoiled with what happens next. More than likely, we're going to cover the first 3 endings in this first part, and we'll do the last 2 in the other. And we got to our first dialogue. So we're just going to pick the first one here, Ace and Lotus, 1 plus 8. So hit A on it, and it'll continue skipping afterward. It's rather nice that the dialogue continues skipping after your choices. And you're going to have a couple more dialogue options here. The first one is that everyone who verified had to go. Honestly, I don't think any of these really matter. They'll just give you a little bit of different dialogue, but again, I recommend following along with my choices so you know exactly what happens next. As I said, there are a couple of dialogue choices that can affect your positioning in some of the escape rooms, which can affect my directions if you're following my text walkthrough. So again, going to have a dialogue option coming up here. And we're going to need to pick the third option here, which is 4, excuse me. Our digital route is 4. Sorry about that. I shouldn't say other numbers when they're on the screen. That's dumb. And then we're going to get one more option, and this is our door choice. So we're going to decide that it had to be door 5. And the cute girl is very upset at us, because that means we're not going together. And that's going to bring us to our first real escape room. That's not a tutorial. And again, not going to be, now that we did the tutorial, not going to be explaining things much. We're just going to go ahead and do the actions. I apologize if you heard me on. And here we go. We're going to start the first class cabin escape. Just like all of them, they're going to start with an overhead map. So go ahead and press B when it pops up to back out. We're going to interact with the bed, interact with the pillow, and then interact with the item here to get score plate A. Press B to back out of your inventory, and you can skip the text with snake. And then we're going to RB to face 2 doors. Interact with the right door, interact with it again, and then interact with the cabinet doors here to open them up and interact with the item and get score plate C. Press B once here. Remember this safe. We have to touch that safe before we leave, but it doesn't count right now. Eventually, we're going to unlock the exit door, and then we're going to come and touch the safe. Remember that is extremely important. So go ahead and press B again to back out and be brought to the 2 doors. Interact with the left door. Interact with the right door here. LB once and interact with the vase. 7 tells you what a great idea that is, and we're like, what? Press B to back out of your inventory, interact with the right door, and now interact with the center door to go into the bathroom. Interact with the tub once to zoom in. Make sure you have the vase selected with up on the D-pad there, and interact with the water to get some water into the vase. Once you do, we're going to hit B 4 times. So once to get out of the inventory, 1 to zoom out, 1 to zoom out, 1 to zoom out. We're back at the 2 doors here. Interact with the left door once to zoom in, and again to open it. Interact with the cabinet doors, and you're going to get another plate if you interact with the item. You get score plate G. Press B twice more to back out to the 2 doors. LB once. Press up on the D-pad until you get the vase equipped, and then interact with the fireplace, and then interact with the coals and wood and fire itself. And this will put the fire out. Interact with the plate, or whatever it is, in the fire, and you're going to get the score plate itself. Press B to exit, and you get some more dialogue that you can skip. Again, if you want to read, you should read, but if you're just like the video here, feel free to skip it. RB Back to the two doors, interact with the right door, interact with the center door to get back into the bathroom, interact with the tub to zoom in, and then head over to the left side here. We're interacting with the plug of the tub, and it can be difficult to see. So I recommend highlighting kind of where it comes out of the water there. And once the water drains, you can get score plate D. So press B 3 times after you get the plate, and you'll be back out in this hallway. Interact with the left door. Interesting enough, we never go into this right door. Interact with the left door, interact with the piano, and interact with the map to get it. This now gives you the option to view the map in your inventory. Contrary to what Snake just said, it doesn't really prove helpful for us. Make sure you have any of the plates that you picked up selected and interact with the spot where the map was. And that'll put all the plates there. And now you need to play the keys right. If you're following my text guide, I have a picture and guide for the keys. But we're going to try to do this following my own. So we need to hit the buttons or keys in this order. So just pretend they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We only hit 3, 4, 5, and 6 here. So we're going to hit 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to hit 3, 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, 5, 6, and 6, 5, 4, 3. That'll solve the puzzle. That unlocks the exit door. Which means we're almost done, but we still have to go touch that safe before we leave. If we don't touch the safe, we have to replay this room later on, and, well, that's not that big of a deal. The rooms only take like 5 minutes to go through. It's better not to have to do it. So press B to back away, hit LB to get to the two doors, interact with the right door once to zoom in, and again to open it, and interact with the safe. Everyone's like, I didn't see anything that deals with the safe, and that is what you need to see. Press B now to back out, and we're going to LB, interact with the escape door twice, and we're done with the first class cabin. Once we get out, you can start skipping text again if you are skipping.
Another hallway?
Sorry, I hit the wrong button there. And we get to the casino. Another escape room. So just like always, we're going to get an overhead map that we'll have to back out from. So go ahead and press B to back out. Hit the right bumper and interact with the mantle up here. This will zoom us in. Interact with the left light first, then interact with the right light. That does give you the code you're going to need, but interact with the card there to get card number 6. Press B once to exit your inventory, and press it again to zoom out, and then interact with the coin bag in the actual fireplace now. Press B to zoom or exit your inventory, and right bumper to look at the slot machines. We're going to interact with the middle one, with the coin bag selected in the bottom left there, which it should be. But make sure it is, and interact with the coin slot on the machine. So Move the cursor down to spin, hit A, and now we're going to hit the buttons in this order. The right one, the club, the left one, the diamond, and the center one, the heart. And we win, if only gambling was that easy. Go down and interact with the drawer to open it. Interact with it again to get the Venus key. Actually, you got to interact with the items. So grab the card. That's probably easier to highlight than the key is. We're going to get the Venus key, which we can't use in the escape room, so it doesn't show up in our inventory. And we're also going to get the second card. Press B twice to exit your inventory and to zoom out. RB twice. Interact with the table here that has a card on it, and then interact with the card to get card 5. Press B to exit your inventory, and again to zoom out, and then press A on the bar to zoom in. Interact with the left counter. You'll get card number 7, and now interact with the right counter, and you're going to get card number 4. Press B to exit your inventory, and again to zoom out. Hit the left bumper to change perspective and interact with the big brown table. Grab the card 3 from the table, press B once, and then interact with the glass square to get some dialogue that you can skip. Interact with the 3 empty slots, and it will start a puzzle. So to do this puzzle, we're going to move our cursor to one of the slots, hit A to select it, and then we select a card. We need to grab the 2, 3, and 4 cards. It doesn't matter what order you put them in, they automatically correct. So hit 2, 3, and 4, and once all 3 cards are sitting there, the glass case opens, and we can grab the 8 card. Press B once to exit your inventory and twice more to zoom all the way out. LB to the left and interact with the far wall. Sorry about that, I hit the light. Interact with the wall twice to zoom forward. Now interact with this rectangular box that has a 9 on it to zoom in. Go ahead and interact with the lock card slot there. And we need to put a card there that will unlock this. So interact with it. Actually, you don't need to. I'm sorry about that. Just hit the 8 card. Putting the 8 in there adds it up to 9 with the ace and opens the lock. And now we need to put 3 cards in that add up to 9. So go ahead and interact with any one of these to start the puzzle. And we only have 3 cards left, so it's a pretty easy puzzle. But for this one, you do have to interact with the slot and then touch the card, which is why I got confused there. Once you have all 3 of the 5, 6, and 7 cards placed, you hear the door unlock. Press the B button to zoom out, and then interact with the exit door to leave. And that's your second escape room done. Going to have a lot of dialogue and dialogue choices to make in this next section. So once you get the text, feel free to start skipping if you are. And again, there's just a lot of dialogue here, not really much for me to add. Okay, dialogue. Go ahead and choose the casino, which is the first option. And then go ahead and select listen to what she has to say. We're going to choose the first class cabin B deck. And then we're going to choose talk to her. When we get back, we're going to choose the second option, the hallway with all the rooms. And then choose run to ace, which is the first option. And now choose back to the large hospital room, which is the third option. Talk to him, which is the first one. Choose 0, which is the third option. The fourth option, finish searching. And the next option will be she was right, which is the second one. A little bit of dialogue happens before the next dialogue option. So just sit back and relax for a bit. Or for a long time if you're reading. And once you get to the choice, we need to choose door number 7. This brings us to the laboratory. We're going to be skipping a little bit of this, but not too much of this one. So go ahead and press B to back out of the map. RB once to change perspective and interact with the table here, and then grab the forceps. Press B once to zoom or exit inventory, and again to zoom out. Now LB twice and interact with the table here, and we're going to grab the scalpel. Press B once to exit your inventory, and again to zoom out. Interact with the mannequin. Now hit up on the D-pad to select the forceps and interact with the mannequin to get the fake organ. Press Y on the fake organ and then select the scalpel and then press Y on it to combine them. You cut the organ and get the organ key. Go ahead and press B once to exit your inventory and again to zoom out. LB once and interact with the right portion of the wall twice to zoom in. Make sure you have the organ key selected with up on the D-pad and interact with the left door here to unlock it and go inside. Interact with the green box in the center here and grab both of these red containers to get red and blue liquid. Press B once you have the second liquid once to exit your inventory and then interact with the keypad. It's going to start a little puzzle, and we need to enter 349E. And that will unlock the box. Interact with the arm to get the fake right arm. Press B once to exit inventory, and interact with the fake heart. Press B once, press it again, and press it a third time to trigger some dialogue. Press B once to go back to the wall, and now we're going to interact with the left side of the wall twice to zoom forward. Press up on the D-pad to select the organ key, and then we're going to interact with the door to unlock it. Interact with it again to go through. Interact with the corner twice to go forward. Interact with this table on the right to zoom in on it, and then interact with the light to turn on the light. Press up on the D-pad to select red liquid and interact with the beaker to put the red liquid in. Now press up on the D-pad to select blue liquid and interact with the beaker to put the blue liquid in. That unlocks the blue locker. And now, once again, up on the D-pad to get red liquid and combine them to get purple and unlock the purple locker. Press B once to zoom out. RB once to face the lockers. Interact with the lockers once to zoom in. Interact with the red one. Grab the fake right leg and press B. Interact with the blue one. Grab the fake left leg and press B. Interact with the purple one. Grab the nose. I'm kidding, that's a fake stomach. And press B. Press B again to zoom out, and we're going to LB once and interact with this cabinet on the left. Interact with the drawer to open it, and we need to grab this piece of paper. It doesn't go into our inventory, it is a file, but we need it to trigger the next puzzle. So go ahead and press B once to zoom out. Press B 2, 3, and 4 times to make it back to this wall. LB once and interact with the fake chest on the table. Press B to zoom out, and LB once and interact with the sheet twice. Interact with the mannequin head to place all of her parts. Now interact with the parts to start the puzzle. Now this is a very easy puzzle. All you need to do is interact with the certain parts on the right mannequin so that they're all swapped. So interact with her arm here, interact with her chest, interact with her stomach, and interact with both of her legs, and that solves the puzzle. Press B once to zoom out and somehow replace the sheet. LB once and interact with this console in front of the mannequin here 3 times in total to pick up the key. And there's the 3rd time to get the Jupiter key. Press B once to exit your inventory. Press it again to zoom out. LB twice to get back to the wall. Interact with the left side of the wall twice. Interact with the door. Interact with the corner twice. Interact with the door to zoom in. Make sure you have the Jupiter key selected, which you should because you just got it, and interact with the door to unlock it. Except we lost Clover. So go ahead and start your skipping of the text, and you'll have a little bit of dialogue before you officially exit the room. Once you exit, you're going to have some more dialogue. So go ahead and start skipping if you are skipping everything. Little bit of dialogue happens before you have a choice. We're going to be by the stairs here, and we need to choose, of course, there's a reason. And then a little bit later, not too long here, we're going to have another choice. About a kind of interesting miscommunication. But if you're skipping, it doesn't really matter. Once you get to the choice, we're going to choose being locked up alone with a boy. And there is like a minute or two before the next dialogue option now, so relax, have a drink. Even if you're skipping, it takes a minute or two to get to the next choice. And the good news is my pets have calmed down, so hopefully that continues. Will make recording a lot easier. And here comes the next dialogue pretty quick here. Go ahead and choose of course. And then relatively quickly here we'll have our second choice, which is, well, that's possible. There it is, the first option there. And then our next option will be a door choice. And it's a little bit of ways yet. We're going to have a choice here. And we're going to choose door number 1. Eventually that'll bring us to our next escape room. And just like always, we're going to start with an overhead map view of where we're at. So go ahead and press B to zoom out of that. Interact with the drawers in front of you twice to open them up, and then grab the stack of nautical charts. Press B once to exit your inventory, and press it again to zoom out. We're going to LB once to change perspective. Make sure you have the stack of nautical charts selected, as you should, and interact with the map here twice to get some information you need for later. Press B to zoom out, and then interact with the bookshelves up here. and you're going to get another important bit of information we need for one of the later puzzles. Interact with the desk once, and then interact with this center drawer to open it and grab the pocket watch. Press B and some dialogue happens. Choose Yeah, there is. Go ahead, once you get control, hit RB to change perspective, interact with the door. Hit LB to change perspective, and interact with this thing on the left once to zoom in, and again to realize that a handle is missing. Go ahead and press B to zoom out, and we're going to interact with the helm over here, the steering wheel, twice. And this will start a kind of weird puzzle. So, once the puzzle pops up, I'll talk about it. So in the upper left-hand corner, you see a compass here. We have north, east, south, and west. And in between them, we have these white triangles that indicate northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest. On the left side of the helm, we have an arrow moving us to the left. And on the right side, we have an arrow moving us to the right. If you hit the right arrow, you see we start moving. And we're going to press A once to start it, and immediately press A again, because stop pops up. So hit A again to hit stop, and it stops us on the next of the 8 regular directions. And then to go back, we do it again. Hit the left arrow, hit A, and it stops us. Those arrows indicate which way you move. So if we hit left, we head towards west. If we hit right from this position, we head towards east. What we need to do is we're going to be stopping on certain directions in order. So go ahead and hit the right arrow, and we need to stop on south. You have to stop after the 8 directions. So in order to stop on south, you hit stop after the southeast triangle there. Hit the right arrow again, and we need to stop on west. So we'll hit it right there, so it stops on west. Hit the left arrow and hit stop immediately, so we stop on southwest. Hit the right arrow, and we need to stop on northwest, so hit it now to stop there. Hit the right arrow again, and we're going to stop on east. And then hit the left arrow, and we're going to stop on north, and that will solve the puzzle. After some text, you're going to get the handle. So go ahead and press B to exit your inventory, and B again to zoom out. Interact with the device on the left again once. Make sure you have the handle selected, which it should be, and interact with the device again to start another puzzle. This one is far simpler. Just wait until the boxes load up, and now hit full. Wait for the arrow to get there. Now hit half and hit slow. Now hit full again. Hit half. Hit dead slow, the black one, not the red one. And then hit stop. And that solves the puzzle. Press B to zoom out. RB twice, and you'll see this wall with a lit up board. Make sure you have the pocket watch selected, which it's the only item you have, so it should be, but just make sure of that, and hit this lit board twice, and you'll get a little scene here where Ace violates your personal space. We're going to get into our inventory here, so press B once to back or exit the inventory, and again to zoom out. And now interact with this pocket watch shaped indent 3 times while having the pocket watch selected. That unlocks the door. Press B once to zoom out, and press A to interact with the door and finish off this room. Some dialogue is going to start, so go ahead and start skipping as soon as you want. And it actually just brings us right into another escape room. Once again, the map will pop up, so press B to back out. Interact with this little end table here and grab the music box on the right. Press B to exit your inventory and press it again to zoom out. RB once. Interact with the desk here. Interact with the keyboard, and you press a button which changes the monitors, and then interact with one of the 4 monitors that says 0. And some dialogue will happen. Interact with the door on the right here. Interact with the box on the desk once to zoom in and again to grab it to get screwdrivers. Press B to exit your inventory. Interact with the drawers on the right here, and you'll then open the drawer. Interact with the ink to get it. Press B to exit your inventory, and again to zoom out. Hit LB once and interact with the desk to zoom in, and interact with the drawers on the left. Now grab the paper, but don't exit your inventory once you get it. Hit down on the D-pad twice to get to the small screwdrivers and hit Y on them. And now hit down once so you select the music box, and hit Y to combine them so you get a cylinder. Hit Y on the cylinder, hit down twice to select the ink, and hit Y again to combine them into a dirty cylinder. Hit Y on the cylinder, hit down once, and hit Y again to combine those so you get the Morse code chart. Press B once to exit your inventory, and press B again to zoom out. We're going to interact with this box here that has the 2 circles to zoom in, and then we're going to interact with this device to the right of the headphones here to zoom in on that. Make sure you have the Morse code chart selected. It should be, and then interact with the black button here. The puzzle here is really simple. All we need to do is mirror the pattern on the right. So we're going to tap the A button for a dot, and we're going to hold the A button for a dash. So tap. Interesting. There we go. Tap. For whatever reason, it wasn't letting me hit the button. Tap, tap, hold, hold, tap, 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 hold, tap, 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 hold, 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 tap, tap. Doing so will solve the puzzle. Press B to zoom out and interact with the wide drawer once, and for some reason you zoom out, and interact with it again to open it. Interact with the red book to get some dialogue. And eventually you'll regain control and can interact with the weird thing in the drawer to get the unique key. Press B once to exit your inventory and twice more to zoom all the way out. Once you see the door on the left, you're going to hit the right bumper and interact with the door that is on the right to go through. Interact with the pink door, interact with the keypad, and making sure you have the unique key selected with up on the D-pad. Interact with this little slot on the keypad. That turns it on. Interact with the buttons to start the puzzle. So we need to type in 8 letters or numbers and then E. So type in 3, 5, 1, 4, 2, 7, 2, 4, and E. And that solves the puzzle. Once the text goes away, press B to back out and then interact with the door to finish the room. There is nothing but text to the ending now. So If you want to read, feel free. Otherwise, we're going to skip. Just enjoy it,
All right.
and eventually bad end will pop up, and you can continue on with us. If you are reading, I recommend not following along with the video until you reach the ending screen where it says, end. So, otherwise, you might see some things in the video that could spoil what's going to happen next. And there we go. Bad end pops up. You can hit A to advance. You will unlock your first achievement. Let me ask you a question for 30G. And we've reached our first ending. So get through all the text here. It'll explain to you what you can do. We're going to be brought to the save screen. Hit A once and hit it again, and then select yes to save. And after a few seconds, we return to the flowchart. And we need to go back to our last choice. So hit one or up 6 times. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right once, up once, and you'll get to this novel screen. If you hit A on it, it should say the 1, 6, and 2 doors. And then hit A on it twice more to start the sequence. You can immediately start skipping to get to your next door choice, and this time we're going to choose a different room. We're going to choose door number 6. This brings us to the steam engine. Again, once the escape starts, we'll have the overhead map we need to back out of. So press B to do that. We're going to hit the right bumper once. Click on the stairs here twice. Try to hit on the left side, otherwise you can interact with like the boxes behind. Interact with it twice to go up. Interact with it twice more to go all the way up. And click on the A door twice. Once to zoom in and once to go through. Once we get through, hit the left bumper once you get control. And interact with the B door to go through the B door. Once you're on the other side, hit the right bumper once. Interact with the device here with the rope hanging off, and interact with the wheel. Press B to exit your inventory. Some quick text pops up, but you can't skip it, so just advance. Then press B to zoom all the way out. LB, once interact with the B door. We're going to RB twice and interact with the C door. And then we're going to interact with the device in front of us. Interact with it again with the wheel selected, which it should be. And the wheel will be placed here. Skip all the text, and then interact with the wheel. You'll have a couple more text boxes to skip. And then some dialogue happens that you can auto-skip. Once you regain control, hit the right bumper and interact with the C door. Hit the left bumper and interact with the A door. Go ahead and click the stairs to look down and click them twice more to go all the way down. LB once and interact with the device that's in the box here to get the control panel for something. Press B once and it should be selected. So interact with this control panel once, twice, and 3 times to put it in, and you'll automatically press the button on the left and start the machine. Once you get control, interact with the box on the left to get box filled with coal. Press B once to exit your inventory and hit the left bumper. You'll face these the back side of the steam engine room. With the coal box selected, interact with one of these 3 circles here. Once to to change perspective, twice to open them, and a 3rd time to put the coal in. You have a bit of a sequence here before you regain control again. Eventually you will regain control. Go ahead and press B once to back out. Hit RB twice. And interact with the stairs twice to go up. Interact with the control panel. And interact with the rightmost red handle here. And that starts the engine. I believe I was spamming A, so I skipped the scene there, but it shows the gears switching position. Once you regain control, interact with the left side here near where the gold wheel is. Interact with the wheel to zoom in, and then interact with the plate to get the gold disc. Press B 3 times, and we have to repeat this process for the bronze and silver wheels. So interact with the bronze wheel indent, interact with the wheel itself and grab the bronze disc, then hit B 3 times, interact with the silver indent, interact with the wheel, grab the silver disc, press B 3 times. Interact with this back wall twice to move forward, interact with the stairs once, interact with the control panel at the top once, and then again to start a puzzle. Puzzle is very quick and easy, if you know the answer. Hit the upper right arrow here once, and hit the bottom arrow here once. Hit the gold disc 4 times, hit the bronze disc 5, and hit the silver 6 to solve the puzzle and finish the room. You're going to get a little bit of dialogue here. And you get to the cargo room, which, as luck would have it, is another escape room. Again, we're going to press B to exit out of the overhead map and interact with the white bag on the right, and you'll get card with a headshot for Santa. Press B to exit your inventory. Interact with the crates in the back here, and then interact with the white bag to get card with the headshot, which is the exploded guy from the beginning. I don't remember what his name is. Press B to back out, and then press B again, and then left bumper over to this screen. Interact with the white bag on the ground to get Snake's headshot. Press B once. Interact with the bag hanging off the crate to get Clover's headshot. Press B once. Interact with the wooden box here, and then with the lid of the box, and grab Ace's card from inside the box. Press B twice to zoom all the way out after exiting your inventory. Hit LB once and interact with the white bag on the floor to get Seven's card. Press B to exit your inventory and interact with the square crates here. And you'll see 2 cards inside. Grab them to get Junpei's card and June's card. Once you have the second card, press B twice to back out. Interact with the teal crate to zoom in and interact with it again to get Lotus's headshot card. Press B to exit your inventory and have any of the cards selected and interact with the crate again. You can start skipping the little bit of text that happens here, and you'll eventually get 9 pins. Once you get them, you can press B to exit your inventory, press it again to zoom out, RB once and interact with the stairs, interact with the stairs again to go up, and then interact with the right section here to go, or twice to go up. Interact with the console to zoom in on it, and then interact with this bottom section here, making sure you have the 9 pins selected. And then interact with these 6 holes to start a puzzle. And we're just going to be lighting up the numbers in order by putting their digital roots, or combinations of our pins in that make their digital roots. So unfortunately, what you have to do is hover over each slot, hit A on it, and then hit one of the pins. So interact with the slot, move over to the 1, interact with it. Interact with the slot, move over to the 3, interact with it, etc., etc. We need 1, 3, 7 and 4, 6, 9. And that'll get the 1 and the 2 lit up. Now we need 1, 2, 9, and 3, 4, and 6. That'll get the 3 and the 4 lit up. Now we need 1, 4, and 9, and we need 2, 5, and 8 to get the 5 and 6 lit up, and then finally we need 1, 2, and 4, and 3, 5, and 9 to light up the 7 and 8 and finish that puzzle. On the right side, you notice a slot open up with an F, and again, with the 9 pins selected, interact with the 9 holes. Same process. You need to select a hole, then select a hole and select a pin. For this one, we need to put the 4 in the top left, the 9 in the top center, and the 2 in the top right. Put the 3 in the middle left, put 5 in the very center, and put 7 in the right center, the right middle, excuse me, middle right, whatever. You can see on the screen. And then 8, 1, and 6 in the bottom row, and that solves the puzzle. You'll get some more dialogue. Not skippable one, but just text. Press B to zoom out once you get control. Interact with the lighted screen, and you're going to get a bunch of exposition here, just to explain how you're supposed to do this. So, just keep skipping. And once you get control, we're going to hit the bottom right red and black. Maybe it's a joystick. It's hard to tell from this angle. Might be a button. Not sure. Whatever it is, hit it. And you're going to get control of the Pushmaster 5000. So make sure you follow along with my movements exactly here. There isn't really room for error. So go ahead and hit down. In order to move, you have to hit A on the next square. So to move down, you hit A on the square below the Pushmaster. So now hit right. So move your cursor to the right and hit A. Hit down and right. Go right, up, up, left, up, left, left, down, left, down, down, right, 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 down, right, up, left, 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 up, up, right, 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 down, down, up, up, left, left, down, left, down, right, 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 left, down, and right. You get a little bit of text, and then a cutscene shows up, and you can actually press A to skip the scene. Once you get control, you can press B once to zoom out and twice to zoom all the way out. Press right bumper 3 times. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3 to be facing the fence. Interact with the fence twice to zoom in. Interact with the crates twice to go on top. And interact with the coffin twice to start some dialogue. You will eventually get the rusty key and be brought to your inventory. And once you do, press B once to exit your inventory and press B 3 more times to zoom all the way out. Hit LB once, interact with the steps, and then interact with the door here, making sure you have the rusty key selected. And then interact with the door again to leave. And just like before, if you want to read, just keep skipping or reading until you see the end, and then you can watch the video and rejoin us, because it is leading up to another ending, and if you follow the video from this point, you might be spoiled on what happens. Otherwise, start skipping with me, and again, we're just going to skip until bad end pops up. Once bad end pops up, you can hit A to advance forward. You'll unlock your second achievement, Cut and Run. Press A twice, and then select Yes to save, and after a few seconds you get brought back to the flowchart. This time we have to go all the way back to the second door choice, so just keep hitting up until you get here. When you hit A on this novel, it should say the 3, 7, and 8 doors. So hit A twice more to start it up, and we can immediately start skipping if you need to, although your choice happens relatively quick. We're going to choose door number 3. And eventually you get another choice, and you're going to select Take the Risk and choose door 3. Eventually you'll start the escape room, and we skip basically everything in this room, just an FYI. We get out of here in like 2 minutes. Once again, once you start, you'll have the map, so press B to back out. Hit the right bumper once and interact with the rightmost stall. Interact with the toilet back twice to open the tank and find a red key card, so interact with it. Press B once to exit your inventory and twice more to back all the way out. LB twice and interact with the hatch here once to zoom in and again to open it. We're going to have to interact with the levers to turn them the way we need them. So hit this one once, hit this one twice, hit this one twice, hit this one twice, hit this one twice, and then hit these last 2 once so that they're facing right. So the top 3 should be facing left, the first one on the second row should face left, and the last 2 in the bottom row face right. Once you have that like that, press B, and Santa will talk to you. That means you did it right. Hit LB once and interact with the now overflowing drain on the ground. Interact with the left side of the grate, so you interact with the grate itself. If you try to interact here, you might grab the card, or at least interact with the card. So interact with the drain to remove it, then grab the card to get the blue key card. Press B once to exit your inventory, and again to zoom out. Interact with the door keypad, and press up on the D-pad to select the red key card. Interact with the sliding strip here. And now press up to select the blue key card and interact with the sliding strip again. Interact with the buttons. Interact with the buttons again, and now we need to enter 1776 and then hit the E button. Press B to back out, interact with the door, and we're done. The easiest escape room in the game, if you know all the answers. Once you get out, some dialogue will start, so feel free to skip. And we are eventually going to get a couple of dialogue options, which might be familiar. At this point, we're replaying stuff we've been through already. So if you are reading, you can actually use the X button to skip text. And if you get to some text that changes, it stops skipping. So you don't have to reread stuff you've already seen before. It is quite handy that they put that feature in. That way, if you are reading for fun, you can still skip the stuff you've read before using the X button to get to, I believe it just says skip instead of all skip like it does for if you turned on the skip option. But once you get the dialogue choice, hit of course. And then in a couple of seconds here, we need to choose, well, that's possible. And after a bit of dialogue, we don't get our next choice of room. We have to go automatically into one. So and we'll start the escape just like before. You'll start with an overhead map. Go ahead and press B to back out. Interact with the first door on your left here. We're going to interact with the stall partition to zoom in, and then interact with the pull cord here. And you're going to get the handle. Press B to exit your inventory and interact with this toilet paper roll. Once to zoom in, again to remove the roll itself, and a third time to interact with the metal rod to pull that off. And once your inventory opens up, press Y, hit down, and press Y again to combine them to make a screwdriver. Press B once to exit your inventory, and twice more to zoom all the way out. RB once, interact with the desk, interact with the drawer. That tells us that the drawer is screwed in. So, making sure you have the screwdriver selected, interact with the top of the desk to zoom in on a screw, and then interact with the screw. This will unscrew both of the screws. Press B once to zoom out and interact with the drawer to get the desk drawer. Press B once to exit your inventory, and again to zoom out, and then interact with the door. This time interact with the middle door, or the second door, whatever you want to call it, the middle door here. LB once, interact with the desk. Interact with the drawer twice, and you're going to get the center room drawer. Press Y on it, and then press up and combine it with the screwdriver to get the handle, I think, knob is what it's called. Press B to exit your inventory, and then hit up on the D-pad until desk drawer is selected, and interact with the empty drawer slot. Now open the drawer, interact with the drawer to zoom in on it, and interact with the tile. Press B to exit your inventory, and twice more to zoom out, and then hit the right bumper. Interact with the sink once, interact with it again, press up on the D-pad to select knob, and interact with the faucet. Now interact with the faucet again, and you'll start running water, and be really sarcastic to Lotus. She's like, did anything change? And you're like, the water stopped. Oh, thanks. I'm surprised she didn't murder him right then. Once you get control, press B once, and then again so you can see the bed on the right. LB once and then interact with the door to leave. Go back into the first door, the one on the left. Interact with the faucet or the sink twice, and you can see a little tile in the water. Interact with it to grab it. Press B once and you'll get some dialogue. Eventually you'll regain control. Once you do, RB once and interact with the door. And now we need to interact with the far door on the right. And then interact with it again to go in. Use up on the D-pad to select drawer without a handle and interact with the beam of light. And then interact with the mirror on the left. Now interact with the mirror on the right. Press B once, and then RB and interact with the door. Interact with the second or middle door to go inside. Interact with the partition, and we need to pull this rope 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 7th. Go ahead and press B once, LB, and interact with the door to leave. We're going to interact with the leftmost door, the first one. Interact with the partition, and interact with the pull rope 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go ahead and press B once to zoom out, RB, and interact with the door. We need to interact with the far right door once to zoom to it, and again to go inside. Hit RB once, interact with the desk, interact with the desk drawer, and then grab the 2 tiles. Press B once to exit your inventory, again to zoom out, and again to zoom all the way out and interact with the door. RB once, interact with the door on the right wall here, and make sure you have one of the tiles selected and interact with the door again to start the final puzzle. All you need to do for this is interact with the tile and then interact with an E. And replace all 4 of the E's with the tiles to solve the puzzle. Once you regain control, you can interact with the door, and that solves this escape room. Go ahead and start skipping. We have a brief section of dialogue before we get another escape room. Once again, once the map pops up, press B to exit out. and interact with this diagonal thing on the ground once to zoom in and again to start it. It looks more complicated than it is, but it's quite easy. Hover over this upper left switch and turn it on. Hover over the upper right switch and turn it on, and hover over the bottom right switch and turn it on, and then hit check. And that solves the puzzle. Very simple. Once you get control, press B to back out, hit the right bumper, interact with the cloth covered table, and interact with the table again, and you will get a wrench. Press B once to exit your inventory, and again to zoom out. Press RB twice. Make sure you have the wrench selected and interact with this porthole twice in order to take the porthole off. Then interact with the dark space once to get this little dialogue, and interact with it again to get the sun key. So press B. Sorry about that, I accidentally hit A. Press B once to exit your inventory, again to zoom out. Hit the right bumper once, interact with the chair, and interact with the chair again with the sun key equipped to open up the manacles, or whatever they're called. I think they're just called manacles, but the bindings on the chair. Press B once to back out, interact with the control panel back here, hit the yellow handle once for some text, and then hit the yellow handle again. Once you get control, press B once, interact with the green floor, and interact with the poor shark. Press B once to back out, interact with the control panel, and interact with any of the 6 buttons to start a puzzle. And then we need to hit them in a specific order, so hit E, D, B, and F. Once you regain control, press B to zoom out, interact with the monitor on the floor twice again to start another puzzle after some dialogue. And again, these look more complicated than they are, but they're actually rather simple, so don't worry about the puzzle too much. So once you gain control at the puzzle, go ahead and hit this arrow on the left once. And now we need to hit these markers over on the left side twice so that the 2 is selected. Hit both of them so that they say 2. Then hit the right arrow once and hit the right arrow on this screen. And this time we need to hit both of these markers so that they say 1, so you only need to hit them once. Once they both say 1, go down and hit check to solve the puzzle. Some dialogue will happen. Once you regain control, press B to zoom out. Interact with this door over here once to zoom in, and again to exit the room. And just like before, there's nothing but dialogue until the end. So if you are reading everything, stop the video here until you get to the end ... and then you can, continue with the video so you don't spoil the ending. For those of us that are skipping everything, just start skipping until we reach the end. You get some credits here that unfortunately you can't skip because this is the first actual ending. So we just have to sit here for a minute or two. This will be the last portion of this first video here. I'm going to put the rest of it into a second video. The rest of 999 into a second video, and then we'll probably do the same thing with Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward, where we kind of split them into two, probably hour and 40-minute sections or somewhere similar. Because trying to upload a 7-hour video isn't a smart idea. My PC's been crashing off and on, so I'm going to try to keep the portions smaller. And there you go, the end, or is it? Go ahead and press A when that pops up. You'll get your third achievement. We all die by a yellow submarine for 30G. Should bring you to 90G total. And then press A twice here and select yes to save. And after a few seconds, you'll get brought back to the flowchart. I am going to start the next section before we finish this video off, just because I don't know if I saved here and reloaded if I'd get brought back to the flowchart. So if you've been following along with me flawlessly, basically if you touch the safe in that very first escape room, the first class cabin, when I told you to, then you're good to go. If you did not touch the safe, you have to go all the way back and go back to basically this novel and replay through to this section. But if you did touch the safe, then we're good to go. If you touch the safe, you're going to go back to this novel, which is the 3, 7, and 8 doors, and we're going to start there. But again, sorry about that, my batteries appear to be low. If you did not touch the safe, you need to go back to the door 4 and 5 choice, choose door 5, and then go back through the first class cabin and touch the safe like I did on our first run of it. You have to touch the safe there, or else the proper ending will not trigger on this next run through we do. So when as long as you touch the safe and you had Snake and 7 say I didn't find anything, you are good to go and follow along with me. But if that didn't happen, for whatever reason, if you did not interact with that safe, you have to go back and play through the door 5 escapes again. Now, you can follow along with what I did earlier. Nothing in the escapes is going to be different. So you can either use the text or go back in the video and then rejoin us when you get to this door 3, 7, or 8 choice afterward. So again, if you need to go back and do the save, play through door 5, get to the 3, 7, 8 door choice, and then you can meet up with us here. Otherwise, if you are all caught up, get to the 3, 7, and 8 door choice and start it up. And this is where we're going to continue and start the next video. So I'm going to stop it here. If you guys and gals have any other questions, feel free to let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them. But if not, we're going to rejoin you and finish off the final 2 endings of 999 in the next portion. So again, if you have questions, let me know. But if not, I'll see you guys in the next portion.